Okay. Just to begin, I'm going to request that you guys fill out a very quick poll. Now, this is super easy. This isn't data collection or anything like that. It's just to get to know a little bit about yourselves and about what kind of students we have here with us today. So there are 5 questions in this poll. The first, how big is your hometown? It could be small, less than 100,000 people, medium, large, or massive. What do you like to do for fun? Do you like to watch movies? Do you like to play games, play sports, or anything with friends, whatever you like? What environment do you like the most? So do you prefer to be in nature, in forests, to climb mountains, to be by the beach, to be in a city with all of its activities? And how's the weather in your hometown right now? Hot, decent, cold? Is there any sort of rain or snow or anything like that? And then the last question, what's the closest you've ever been to Cincinnati? Have you ever been to the United States? Have you ever been to Ohio? That's the state where Cincinnati's in. And have you ever been to Cincinnati? So it looks like people are just about finishing up here. You have just a couple more, and then I'll stop the poll. All right. And last one, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's see. So it looks like most people are from a large city, between 1 million and 10 million people, and then a few people are from absolutely massive cities. I think I probably can guess which ones. Cincinnati is a large city. There's a little more than 2 million people. So it's actually would be pretty similar in size to a lot of the cities that you're from. The neighborhood of Clifton is where the University of Cincinnati is located, and that's between 100,000 and 1 million people. So that's a neighborhood in Cincinnati, and it does have a similar size of the hometown. What do you guys like to do for fun? See, pretty varied, but sports and anything with friends are the two main responses. There are lots of sports at the University of Cincinnati, and I'll get into those in a little bit. Badminton, of course, is very popular here as well. And we do have many others. I'll get into those. And then there's plenty of things to do with friends. What environment do you like the most? Very balanced. Forest, mountains, and city were the top responses. And that's actually, those are the 3 that Cincinnati combines. So we don't have a beach. We are on a river that some people will swim or kayak in, but our main geographical features are forests, rolling forests. So kind of like hills that go into mountains. And then we have the city of Cincinnati as well. So it actually combines all of those. How's the weather in your hometown right now? Hot for most of you. Today is a really hot day. It's like the last hot day of summer is what we have. But we do have a bit of variation in the weather. And then what's the closest you've been to Cincinnati? So about half of you have been to the US and about half of you haven't, but no one has been to Ohio or Cincinnati. So it will be a new place and somewhere to discover for all of you. All right. Thank you all for participating in that. Let's get started with the presentation. Now, I'm sure you've done plenty of Zoom meetings before or presentations before. So I'll go ahead and get started. If you do have questions, please write them in the chat. At the very end, we'll have time to unmute and you can ask questions verbally if you prefer those, or if not, I'll go through the questions that are in the chat. But again, this is your time, so please feel free to ask anything you want. Go ahead and get started. To give a little bit of background about myself, my name's Seth Higginbotham. I'm the Assistant Director of International Admissions Global Recruitment here at the University of Cincinnati. I did study my undergraduate degree here, aerospace engineering, and I have a lot of experience with the university. I'm not from the city of Cincinnati, but I've lived here for a while now. I'm doing my master's in political science here at UC, and I've been here for quite a while. So I've seen lots of student experiences, international students, etc. All right, so let's see about the University of Cincinnati. This is what we'll discuss today. A couple of topics. We are Cincinnati, just talking a little bit about who we are, what the Bearcat Promise is, experiential learning, student life, talking about the city of Cincinnati. So that's all descriptional information about what your experience would be like. And then we'll get into the more technical details, admission requirements, costs and scholarships, important dates and deadlines. So, who is Cincinnati and what are we known for? We are known for three things: tradition, innovation, and excellence. As far as tradition is concerned, we are a university that's more than 200 years old. We have many different colleges that have produced many famous scholars, academics, and research innovations in the world. One famous alumni of the University of Cincinnati became the president of the United States. That was about 80 years ago or so. So we have produced a president, not 10 presidents like Harvard, but we are close on that list. For innovation, we are a university that discovers many new things. One of our most famous inventions is Benadryl, which was the very first anti-allergy medicine. So if any of you suffer from allergies, you can thank George Reeveshul and the University of Cincinnati for helping to innovate and discover that as well. And excellence. We do have a very strong faculty and professors at the University of Cincinnati. Our most famous professor was Neil Armstrong. After he retired from NASA, he came and taught at our university. He's from here. Now, a little bit about the university. Our student enrollment from last fall, 2023, was 50,900. Right now, we're at about 52,000 students or so, and we're looking at a little bit more than 6,000 of those students being international from undergraduate, graduate, and OPT. These students are coming from around the world, so more than 120 different countries, and many of those are first-generation students as well. With such a diverse student population, we do have lots of resources available to support all of you and recognize that many of you have different needs and different things that you'll need to have in order to acclimate to the city of Cincinnati and the University of Cincinnati as well. 20% of our students are first-generation college students, so there is a significant minority of students that are going through the first time, and we provide lots of support for them as well. Where are our students coming from around the world? Our main countries are India, China, and Vietnam, although we do have very significant populations from Oman, Nepal, Canada, South Korea, Mexico, and many other countries as shown on the screen as well. India is by far the country where we have the most students. And this is showing here by nationality rather than country of study. We have so many students from India, in fact, that we have lots of student organizations that are actually based on specific subregions of India, such as Rajasthan or others like that. So you'll be able to find lots of people from your particular community, no matter if you're from there or if you're coming from Brazil or Mexico or anywhere else. Now, coming to the University of Cincinnati, what do we offer you? You will graduate from here with three things. You'll have a degree, a resume, and a plan for your future. A degree is very obvious. You'll be able to finish your program and receive a bachelor's in physics or a bachelor's of arts and political science or whatever else. A resume. You'll graduate with a resume that's developed and crafted for whatever job or next step you'll have in your future. If you're interested in going on to a professional program or beginning graduate school, medical school, etc., you'll have a resume that's crafted and tailored for that and gives you the best chance of entry. And finally, a plan for your future. So many of you, or some of you, might enter not knowing exactly what you want to study, or you might change your mind partway through. Or you might begin something and not exactly know how your future might look 5 years from now, where you'll be working or what you'll be doing. You'll develop that plan during your time at the University of Cincinnati and know exactly what your next steps will be after graduation. Now, we are a very large university. As I said before, we're at about 52,000 students, and those are divided into more than 700 different academic programs. At the undergraduate level, which is the focus of this presentation, there are more than 350 different programs. All of these programs are divided into 13 different academic colleges. These are colleges like the College of Engineering, the College of Music, College of Medicine, the College of Business, etc. So if you're interested in something like graphic design, it will fall into into the College of Design, Art, Architecture, and Planning. It's important to know that when you apply to the university, you're applying to enter the university, but the colleges themselves are also reviewing you for entry into their specific college. As I mentioned before, we have an exploratory studies program if you're not quite sure what you want to study. If you begin in your first year and would like to take a little bit of time to see what there is, that's totally possible. This is one of the unique advantages of studying in the United States. And at the University of Cincinnati, we have a very robust team of support to help you decide which courses and what career you'd like to pursue. If you're especially academically driven, we do have a university honors program. Please make sure to apply for this. In your initial application, you can just say, yes, I'm interested in the honors program. The honors program will provide you with resources, both financial and otherwise, to pursue any independent projects that you might have, if they're whether they're academic or not. I can talk more about that if you have specific questions. And then we have lots of student support services. Those include our International Services Office, which is for current students at the University of Cincinnati, and I'll talk about that in a minute as well. Why do we have a lot of international students at the University of Cincinnati? More than 6,000 is quite a lot. Why is that? It's because of experiential learning and co-op. I'll start with experiential learning. So taking classes is fantastic and fabulous, and you'll develop your proficiency and academic reputation within that field as you study more and learn more. However, most of the learning that occurs at the University of Cincinnati is outside of the classroom. So we're talking about things like research, student teaching, clinicals, performance arts, so operas, symphonies, orchestras, if you're interested in the musics. And that's all well and good. There are lots and lots of opportunities to participate in experiential learning. As I gave an example with the artistic performances, we have more than 1,000 performances per year in our College of Music. So that's things like plays, orchestras, concerts, etc., more than 1,000. So there are several every day. Now, that's just one single college. If you look at the College of Business or the College of Engineering and Applied Sciences, each of those is going to have their own very vast and diverse set of experiences. So for example, all of our professors are conducting research. We're one of only 150 Tier 1 research universities in the United States, which is essentially the highest level of research available, and we receive funding from the national government to conduct research here. So with all of those professors conducting research, and lots of PhD students also conducting research, there are opportunities to get involved no matter what you're studying. That's experiential learning. Let's look at co-op. Co-op is our calling card. So this is our most important programs. Sorry, I'm getting a little distracted as people keep entering. That's all good. Good to have you here. We do have the #1 public university for co-ops. So what are they? Co-ops are paid work experience. The average earnings, this actually is a little bit old. It says 10,000 here. I'd say it's probably up to 12,000 or 13,000 dollars per semester. So they are working outside of the classroom. You're working for a company, let's say Tesla. You go to Tesla, you work with Tesla for an entire semester, 4 months, getting paid, not taking classes, and then you come back to the University of Cincinnati and take classes. So whenever you're doing these co-op rotations, They're going to be supervised and assessed, and then directly related to what you're studying. Let's look a little bit more at them. So we do partner with more than 1,500 different companies around the world. That's in every single state, more than 16 countries. Some of them are smaller startups. Some of them are very large companies. In my own personal experience in aerospace engineering, I worked with Crane Aerospace and Electronics, which was in a different city. I worked with Maverick Molding Company, which was in the city of Cincinnati itself. One of those was designing jet engines, and one of those was designing components for jet engines. And then finally, I went to Argentina and worked developing satellites for a company there. So wherever you want to go in the world or in the United States itself, we'll be able to help you get co-ops and then work for an experience that's related to your major. This is what this looks like for everyone. So co-op is obligatory, required, mandatory for students who are pursuing any engineering degree, business, design, art, or architecture, and then many of our sciences as well. So since we created co-ops, it's very much a part of our culture, and it's pretty unique to the University of Cincinnati as well. Just the large percentage of our student body that participates in it. Looking on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see an example schedule of what a student on co-op would look like. They would start with their first year just taking classes, and then either in their first year during that summer break or in their second year, they'll start alternating 4 months studying, 4 months on co-op, 4 months studying, 4 months on co-op, like this. So each time that their student is working on co-op, they're able to earn $10,000, $12,000, maybe more, in order to pay for their next semester of school. So if finances are a concern for you, this is a very good way to pay for school because you're able to earn $50,000 or $60,000 as you're going through to be able to pay for those last couple of years. This does extend graduation for our engineering students a little bit, but you're able to graduate with connections within the industry that you want to work, which can help you get a job, and a couple of years of work experience already, as well as being able to pay for a lot of the school yourself. So it's a very good offer. That's, again, why we're very popular. We do have the best program at public universities. And yeah, that's why we have a lot of international students, frankly. All right, so enough of co-op. Ask me questions if you have more. Let's talk about student life at UC. And that's centered on community, culture, and connection. So these are a few pictures of the University of Cincinnati. We do have a very beautiful campus. Architecture is one of our strongest programs at the University of Cincinnati. So there's a lot of very interesting design. There are some buildings and areas that look very traditional, others very modern. Lots of green spaces, so parks, places to play or be outside or explore. And it's all kind of mixed together. So you might be walking in one area and then come into a couple of modern buildings and parks, and then go into another area and you enter a forest, and then there's lots of urban buildings there as well. So it's a bit mixed, but it's very beautiful. At the University of Cincinnati, there are more than 500 different clubs and organizations, and these range wildly from academic, professional organizations that will help you to connect to other students in your field, to ethnic student organizations. I mentioned the Rajasthan student group earlier, like there's a Telangana one, there's a lot. Beyond those, there also are lots of fun clubs and organizations. I'll give you some examples of ones that I studied while I was in university. I didn't study, I participated in at university. I joined the Taekwondo club. I joined the chess club to play chess against other people. And I also joined the cheese club. And the cheese club is where you sit in a circle and you bring different types of cheese and you eat the cheese and you talk about what the taste of the cheese is and you learn about cheese. You get a new vocabulary just related to that. So that was really cool. I'll remember that forever. So there's just a lot of different organizations as well. No matter what your interests are, you'll find lots of other people that have similar interests that you'll be able to share and connect over. Beyond that, we do have many different festivals and celebrations on campus. We host concerts here regularly. Comedians come in, sometimes we have political events. There's just a lot going on in the actual University of Cincinnati itself, not even mentioning the city that's around it. when you live on campus, first-year students are required to live on campus.
The live class nag-account
Sorry, just muting there. First-year students are required to live on campus. In your other years, you're not required to live on campus, but we do have 16 different residence halls, a couple of different styles to choose from. We do have both vegetarian and vegan dining options on campus across lots of different dining halls, restaurants, shops, and cafes. So there's plenty of food options. And then beyond that, there also are lots of ethnic restaurants around the university as well as different grocery stores. So a grocery store that's more focused on East Asia, another one more focused on South Asia, another one more focused on Latin America, and they're all in walking distance of the university. Finally, if you're looking, I know plenty of you said you like sports. We do have one of the best recreation centers in the country. So it's a very large gym with an Olympic-sized swimming pool, a recreational pool with a lazy river, waterfall, basketball area, hot tub, and then lots of workout machinery, it's a suspended track that goes around 8 different basketball courts. There's volleyball courts and badminton courts, racquetball rooms, like I can just keep going, squash, martial arts, cycling. There's just a lot there. And it's a very nice environment. They have lots of events as well. I'm gonna go a little bit faster. I'm going a little bit slow. Sorry, guys. We do offer lots of student services for our international students. Well, all students, in order to help you in whatever you need help for. So many of these are listed on the screen here. I'm not going to go in depth into all of them. A few that I'll highlight are, let's see, the Academic Writing Center. So if you have any questions or need assistance with writing essays, or if you're applying for a job and you want help with your resume, or if you're doing research and you want to write a proposal for a grant, anything like that, we do have lots of trained professionals that can help edit those and make sure you have the highest chance for success. Another one, which isn't even listed on here as I'm looking, is our Scholarship and Award Success Center. So we have an entire team of people whose entire purpose is to help you win scholarships and awards at the national level. So that's outside of the University of Cincinnati. If you're competing for Fulbright Awards or any other sort of academic award, they will help make you the strongest candidate possible, coach you and train you to be able to be competitive for those awards. And then you can see plenty of the other ones on here as well. Quickly, we are a member of the Big 12. Not sure how much you all know about American athletics, but that essentially means that we compete against some of the largest universities in the country athletically, and then also academically, and we contribute research. We coordinate with research projects with them as well. So those are universities like, let's see, University of Kansas, University of Houston, University of Texas, University of Oklahoma. Who else is in the Big 12? I won't name them all, but just gives you an idea of some of our peers. To touch on safety, so the University of Cincinnati is an urban campus, as we've talked about, in the city of a couple million people. We do have a few different ways that we keep our students safe. We have a University of Cincinnati police staff, which have their own vehicles and policing equipment, and they drive around campus and within campus continually. So 24/7, they're always going around. We do have the Bearcat Guardian app that any student can turn on, and that essentially shares with other people that you are going to a specific destination, and then if for whatever reason you don't go to that destination, it will alert anyone that's within your network and say like, hey, you didn't go to this destination. And then finally, we have a night ride shuttle service. So this is free late night transportation to go basically anywhere you want in the city from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. So that's super nice. If you want to go somewhere and it's midnight or something, you can just call up the University of Cincinnati night ride and they'll take you there. Those are actually a lot of times students or staff members who will lead that as well. We have many other things that help with safety as well. So we have a blue light system where if you touch, there are lots of these blue lights around campus. And if you touch one of them, then it will light up, and then students the police will come within 45 seconds to that location. So there's just lots of ways to stay safe in and around campus. Let's talk about our city. Gosh, I need to go a little bit faster. Sorry, guys. So we are a city that's quite nice, actually, for international students and for young people specifically. We're a city that's getting younger, and that's mostly because we're a low-cost city compared to New York and Miami and Los Angeles and Houston and a lot of other ones. So that means that a lot of college graduates are actually moving here to spend their 20s here, which means that we have a lot going on. Some things that you might find in the city of Cincinnati are unique food options. I touched about some of our ethnic restaurants, but we also have our own cuisine that's just specific to Cincinnati. We have lots of festivals and events. A couple that are coming up in this next month or two are Cincinnati. So it's the second largest Oktoberfest in the world. So it's a celebration of German heritage, second behind only Munich. And then another one is Blink. So we light up the entire city. We put light displays and murals on all of the large buildings throughout the city. And it's kind of like a walking tour where you can walk around the entire city and see lots of different light displays at night. It's very cool. I'm not describing it very well, but it's interesting. Anyways, there are things like that that happen every week or every week or two that are throughout the larger city. Besides that, we also have a zoo, professional football team, professional baseball team, professional soccer team, professional hockey team. Broadway shows come through here, et cetera, et cetera. It's a large city with plenty to do. Beyond that, we're a city that can help you get co-ops, work, and employment. So if you're looking for work, this is a very good place to be. Of the 500 largest companies in the world, more than 400 have offices in the city of Cincinnati, and 7 are headquartered in the city of Cincinnati as well. We, of course, have ties with almost all of these companies, if not all of them. So if you're looking for work, then we can help you get jobs and connect with a lot of these companies. Pictured in the middle here is Cincinnati Children's Hospital. So that is actually the best children's hospital in the country and one of the best in the world. And it's located on our campus. So that's pretty cool. And finally, as I mentioned before, lots of students will actually choose to stay here and live in the city of Cincinnati after graduation, which is why we're able to grow. All right, let's talk about applying. You're sold, you love it, you want to come to the University of Cincinnati. We are looking for 3 different things from you. It's quite simple. Complete the application online. We are taking the common application. Pay a fee that's associated with that, unless you're in an app fee waiver period, but we're not sure when those are. Sometimes we'll send out emails, so check your email and saying, hey, we're doing an app fee waiver. Okay, so apply, submit proof of English language proficiency. You can send one of many different tests, and then some students will actually be eligible for a waiver as well if you're in IB or A-level curriculum. And then 3, we need your high school transcripts. Very simple. That's all we need. Grades, proof of English language proficiency, and then the application. You do not have to finish. You can apply before you graduate from your secondary school, so long as you graduate before you attend the University of Cincinnati. That's fine. So you can apply and send us things that say like you're in progress in your final year. That's okay. We are test optional. We do not require SAT or ACT, but you can send them if you'd like. I'll stay here briefly just for a minute. These are some of the English scores that we're looking for from students. So we're looking for 79 TOEFL, 6.5 IELTS, or a 100 Duolingo. All right. If you're transferring in from another university, it's almost exactly the same. The only thing that you'll need is to provide a NACES evaluation with your transcript, and that is just an outside organization that evaluates which classes you took and what their equivalencies would be within the United States. So besides that, it's basically the same if you're transferring from university. Costs and scholarships. So we do have 3 campuses. I focus predominantly on the main campus as it's the 4-year institution. Our 2 regional campuses are mostly 2-year degrees that are offered there. They do have half the tuition basically, but they also have much lower scholarships. And then they're just different entirely. Let me know if you're interested in the regional campuses, but they don't have the same offering of programs. It's a very different experience than our main campus. For our main campus, tuition and fees is $30,000 per year. So that's what you would be paying for 2 semesters of academics. If you're only taking 1 semester of academics in a given year, so say for example, you're on co-op twice and then just studying once, that tuition would only be $15,000. Whatever scholarships you earn are applied to this tuition amount. So if you were in a scholarship that's $10,000 per year, you'd only pay $20,000 per year. Living expenses and health insurance are estimates for how much it costs to live in the city of Cincinnati. That's what you need to provide in order to get your I-20, which will allow you to get your visa to study in the United States. But this is not necessarily what you have to pay to the University of Cincinnati. If you choose to live here on your first year on campus, this would be an amount that you'd pay. But if you choose to live off campus in other years, then it could be higher if you are very lavish, or it could be much lower if you choose to be more frugal and spend more conservatively. So that's costs. Scholarships. Everyone is reviewed based on their application, their single application I mentioned before for a merit-based scholarship. Those range from $1,000 to $15,000 per year. As far as this international outreach scholarship is concerned, average is about $10,000. And I will say there are a couple of other scholarships that can be earned. These colleges do give out their own scholarships. We do give out a global scholarship, which is slightly different. But everything is based on your application. So when you're applying, take a lot of time, do the best that you can. And that's what will be used to review you for not just admissions, but also for scholarships. We do conduct holistic reviews, which means we're going to look at your essays. We're going to look at your activities, your academics, your English level, any sort of leadership experiences that you have. If you submit a portfolio, we'll look at your portfolio. Recommendation letters, if you send those, we'll read those. So we'll take everything as a whole picture to determine what scholarship you'll receive. All right. Please write questions in the chat if you have those. Let's talk about important dates. So the application is now open. We have had applications rolling in here for a couple of weeks now, and we are already starting to review. Isn't that crazy? It feels like, I mean, the school year just started on Monday and we're already reviewing for the next one. Funny. Anyways, December 1st is our early action deadline. Early action deadline means that a lot of things will close or go away after December 1. So these include our most selective programs. So a lot of our engineering programs, computer science, a lot of our design programs, industrial design, architecture, graphic design, anything in the College of Medicine or the College of Nursing. What else? Some business programs may close on December 1 as well. Everything in the College Conservatory of Music. So if you're interested in anything related to music or media production's a little bit later, but that's it. Anyways, all of those programs will close on December 1, so apply before then. Also, scholarship opportunities many of them will disappear at December 1, so apply by December 1 to get the most scholarship possible. If you're interested in the honors program, that deadline is also December 1, so make sure to apply by then. For any students that meet the early action deadline and apply by December 1, you'll receive your admissions letter and scholarship information on January 28th. That is decision day. So basically, we have 2 months to decide to review everyone and make all of the decisions before we release it in January. Finally, if you are not applying for one of our most selective programs and you're not interested in the most amount of scholarship possible, we do accept applications all the way until March 1st for our other programs, and we will review you for this International Outreach Scholarship until March 1st as well. And then that's our rolling deadline. All right. Please feel free to reach out to us with any questions. We do have territory managers. So those are people that are specifically assigned to different regions of the world to be able to answer your questions and help you with anything that you might need as far as if you're not sure about how to apply, or if you're not sure what academic programs we have, or if you want to learn more about student life. ask us, ask us, ask us. If you want to connect with current students, that's a great way to compare different universities. Talk to a student. We'd be happy to connect you with the current students, so reach out to us and we'll do that as well. So here's our contact information. And you can also look it up online or find us on any social media. So Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and WeChat. All right, everyone, thank you so much. I'm going to open it up for questions. Please feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions verbally, or if you want to write them, either is fine. I've got quite a bit of time, so whatever questions you have, let's hear it. All right, so the first question. So, is the maximum scholarship $15,000, irrespective of high SAT scores or other CSR activities? So anything else that you do. Is the maximum scholarship $15,000? The answer is yes for this scholarship. So let me give you a little bit more information about scholarships. This scholarship is the one you're automatically reviewed for. It is merit-based. Yes, it goes up to $15,000. If you have an amazing application, you have a great SAT score, good academics, you'll get the $15,000 per year. So let's say that you get that. Besides that, there are a couple of other scholarships that you can earn at the University of Cincinnati. They just don't necessarily come from our central admissions office. So let's say, for example, you apply for mechanical engineering. The College of Engineering and Applied Sciences will give scholarships out to the students that they feel are the most promising and that are the most likely to succeed and be leaders within the community. They'll indicate those students, they'll find them. I think they have an interview process with them, and then they can give them scholarships as well, from $500 up to $10,000 as well. And then there are lots of, so that's just one example. Other colleges have scholarships as well, like the College of Business, College of Music, et cetera, et cetera. So beyond the college-specific scholarships, there also are a few different funds that exist for very niche or specific types of students or groups of students. And again, those don't come from our central admissions office, those come from other groups. So I know, for example, there's one called First Robotics. So for students who participate in the First Robotics program and are exemplary in that, we'd love to have them here, and we even have a fund set aside for them, and so they could get scholarships as well. Another example might be the You See the World Award. This is a little bit outside the context of this presentation, but if you decide to live in a particular dormitory that's an international student dormitory, it's mixing international students and then domestic US students, about half and half. So if you're in that particular community, there is a housing award that you can earn as well, and that applies against your housing, and that's a couple $1,000s. So there's just a lot of things like that that exist, but they're not necessarily centralized or controlled by our office like this award is. All right, a few other questions. Can I give application fee waiver code for webinar attendees? So for application fee waivers, those are released by the university for specific time periods. So right now we are not in an actual application fee waiver period. What I mean by that is if you apply from, say, whatever date until a different date, all applications during that time period will be free, so you don't have to pay the fee waiver. And those are, I know that there will be some in the future. I'm not exactly sure what dates they are because they haven't been determined yet. But when those dates are determined, they will be sent out by email. So make sure to check your University of Cincinnati emails, and you'll read one of those that says, hey, you can apply for free. Yeah, I know that's definitely if you're applying to lots of universities, it's a big money saver to be able to get those fee waivers. Another question, is computer science under engineering or under the School of Science? Computer science is under the School of Engineering, actually. Good question. Next question, how can we apply for co-op? Is it during the application time period? Is it during admissions? How does that work? So great question. Let me go back to that and explain it a little better. All right, I'm going to stay on this one. Co-op is required. You have to do co-op if you're in many of our programs, most of our programs. Because it is required and because you have to do co-ops to graduate, you cannot graduate without doing these co-ops. Again, for many programs, not all of them, but for many. We know it's very important for students to get them. Co-ops are working with companies. So they are working with a company like BMW, let's say. We do not just hand out jobs to BMW. Unfortunately, as much as we'd love to, BMW is very competitive and they're their own company and they choose which students get the co-ops or get the work experiences. So for all of these co-ops, you do have to go through an interview process where you'll have to engage with the company, present a resume, have an interview, and get the job. These are jobs you are working. We will bring all of the companies to you. We will present you with lots of them. We'll connect you with them. We'll do everything we can to get you the job. We have an entire college of co-op, which is just people whose entire job is to make sure there are co-op opportunities for you as students. However, you have to be the one to actually do the interview and actually get the job over your peers. Obviously, something like BMW is extremely competitive. Other companies like smaller companies, medium-sized companies, or startups, they would be less competitive. But the actual process for when you get these co-ops is going to be maybe like 1 semester in advance. So you can work with the same company for all 5 co-op rotations, or you can change companies however you like. But no, it is not part of the application process to the university. It is a separate interview process that you go through with these companies in order to work with them. All right, next question.
Hello.
Yes.
Can I ask you a few questions?
Yeah, sure.
Right. So I'm coming in from United Arab Emirates. So it's a good evening to you. Rather, it's a good morning for there. Okay. So I do have a few questions regarding, I'm interested in enrolling into College of Medicine.
Sure.
And particularly looking for MD program. But my child is currently in the Indian curriculum. That's CBSE, Indian curriculum. So you must be familiar with the
Yeah, I'm
curriculum.
familiar with it.
So right now she's in high school and she will graduate out in 2 years. So we're looking for a possibility of having to enroll into the MD program. Can you advise us on that?
Certainly. So studying medicine in the United States is very complicated and difficult, arduous. It's a tough path for international students. I'm very sorry to share that. I'm not sure how familiar you are, but for anyone who's not familiar, it's very difficult. And the reason why is because it's extremely competitive and there are very few seats. Because there are such few seats, and the reason why it's so competitive is because it's very resource intensive. So there's a lot of money that goes into training, and then there's just few who are able to train them. Most medical schools in the United States do not accept international students. And that includes the University of Cincinnati at the medical school level. So to study medicine in the United States, you need to have a bachelor's degree first, so complete 4 years, and then you would apply for medical school. I think there's something like 30 or 40 medical schools in the entire country that accept international students. They don't accept many. Maybe there's like 1,000 international students total in medical programs in the US. So it's extremely, extremely competitive, but yes, it is possible. You can look up online which universities do accept international students, but again, it's not very many. Unfortunately, the University of Cincinnati does not, but we do prepare students to apply for medical school at other universities if that's their choice. One other thing is that you can study any bachelor's program, so you don't have to be admitted into pre-medicine specifically. You could study biology or piano for that matter. You just have to take the specific prerequisites that each medical school requires in order to enter them. So classes like biotechnology, organic chemistry, etc. So long as you take those classes, and then you do many other things, then you will also meet the requirements for entry, or at least to be considered and be a stronger applicant.
Right. I understand in the website you have a common program called BSMD.
Yes.
BSMD. So
Yes.
are we eligible to enroll into that?
International students would not be eligible for that. I'm very sorry.
Okay. So we don't stand a chance to it. I mean, I'll have to look for it somewhere else.
At UC, at least, not for the BSMD program, we do offer a very strong undergraduate degree with lots of research experiences, work experiences, etc. So we have had international students come here, do their undergrad, and then go to medical school elsewhere. So that is possible.
Okay.
But yeah, our medical school unfortunately does not accept students. Yeah, I'm sorry. I wish it did, but that's above me, not my decision.
No, we understand. I just understand. I was looking through the website and working to I find out that's where we can.
I'm
Thank you.
going to take a few more questions in chat if you don't mind, and then if you have more, I'll come back to you in a little bit. Is that okay?
Sure.
Great. So a few more questions in chat, and then for those listening, thank you all for joining.
Hello, this is from Saudi Arabia. I agree with you. Actually, I'm a graduate of Boston Medical School, so I know how competitive it is. But anyway, regarding University of Cincinnati, my son is interested in engineering, especially aerospace engineering. My question is, he is in grade 11, and we are planning to apply for fall 2025, which is next year. So what transcripts we are supposed to submit with the application? Will it be grade 9 and 10, or we need to submit grade 11 as well? Number one. Number two, here there is no GPA system, and they only give grades A, B, C, or whatever. And do we have to, change it by, educational credential evaluators, or you will convert those into GPA? What we do?
Great question. I appreciate that. So, your students should apply with grade 9 and 10 and 11. Once 11 is finished, we do recognize that for many students, grade 10 and 12 are the important ones who follow that particular curriculum. We are experienced with curriculums from all over the world, so no need to convert them on your own. We wouldn't use it if you convert on your own anyways. So we'll just take those curriculums, evaluate themselves, and then we do have a GPA conversion system that we use in order to put different curriculums onto a level playing field. Yeah, so we're very have lots of experience with that. No need to worry about that. Just apply with 9, 10, and 11.
One final question. Since he got 1300 in unset, this is something that we should submit, or no? There is no point of submitting 1300 score. Will it make it look good or bad?
So it does depend on the program. As far as English proficiency, I think that I mean your message. You also said 98 TOEFL, so that's those meet the minimum requirements, which is great. So submit at least one or the other. The 1300 SAT again. Oh, you said aerospace. Sorry. I would say for an international student, I'd say probably if the math score is quite high, like 750 or above, probably send it in. And then if it's like 700, 750, I'm not sure, but if it's lower than that, probably not. Just because aerospace is very competitive, and that math means so much to them.
Okay, one final question. I hate to bother you more, but he's American citizen. He's a passport holder. So does that matter really, or no? He will be treated as an international student anyway because his school was outside of United States.
Sure. So we call those students global nomads. There are a lot of international students abroad, or sorry, U.S. students abroad, or international students here in the U.S. Let's see. So it's kind of half and half. As far as tuition is concerned, he's an out-of-state student, so would pay out-of-state tuition unless, for whatever reason, he lives in Ohio prior to enrolling for more than a year and paid his taxes. But then for other things, so for tuition and scholarships, it would be international. But then for other things like having to do visas and things like that, he wouldn't have to do that. So it's a little bit of both, actually, and it depends on what the particular issue is. as far as if your student would be considered international or not. So it just depends. It's specific. Hopefully that answered your question. I am going to continue with a few more in chat here, just so everyone's able to get their questions answered. Hi, if I'm selected for the honors program in biomedical engineering at UC, do I get a scholarship and a waiver for housing? Is there a need-based scholarship? We do not offer need-based scholarship. And then for the particular question of honors program biomedical engineering, let's see, if you're in the honors program, you probably have a very strong application just because it's difficult to get into, in which case you would probably receive a scholarship. I can't give any more specific details than that. I can't give specific numbers, but I'd imagine, yes, if you're able to get into the program and honors as well, you'll probably get a decent scholarship. Next question. Oh yeah, already answered that, the BSMD program. Let's see, application process from high school and Indian curriculum. That's standard. I think I answered that. Just apply with your high school transcripts, the common application, then test of English, and that's enough. We'll take it from there. And if we're missing anything, we'll let you know. Answer that question as well. Are there dual degree options from UC? Yes, we do offer dual degree options. You can go on our website for a full list. There's, again, hundreds of programs. Many of those are dual degrees. We do have something called Ascend, which is, what's the acronym? Accelerated Engineering and Design or something like that. But it combines an undergrad degree with a master's degree in just 5 years with co-ops as well. So if you're interested in that, please check that out. Do co-op jobs happen off campus? Yes, co-ops are entirely off campus. They are working for companies, not the University of Cincinnati. So they're working for companies in Cincinnati area or maybe a different city, state, or country. Do you have biotechnology as a major and is it co-op? Yes and yes. Apologies. We have biological sciences with a concentration in biotechnology. So within biological sciences, there are different concentrations. This one is also optional co-op. So you can choose to study that and then opt into the co-ops. They're not required since biology is typically more of a research-oriented major. And then biotechnology is obviously specialization that has co-op. So you could go down that route. I would apply for biological sciences. Next question. Does SAT score be counted for admissions? It is not mandatory. So we do not require an SAT score, but if you submit it, we will consider it for review. So send it if you want, and then you can look up average SAT score ranges online. Do you have business programs in STEM? Yes, we do. Of course, STEM is very important in order to get extended time in the United States working, OPT after you graduate. We do have business programs in STEM. I'd say I do have a full list, actually. Let me just throw it in the chat, Reka, so that's probably easier for you. Sorry, give me 1 second. I have to find it. And then attach it and send it to everyone. File. Okay, next question I'll answer while I'm uploading this. Right now, I'm studying BS in space science, and I want to study astrophysics and astronomy. So which college should I apply? So when you're applying through the common application, all of the programs will be listed, and it won't even show what college you're applying for. It will just say astrophysics and astronomy. So you would just apply for those programs. We do have astronomy. Astrophysics is a subfield within physics, or not subfield, a concentration within physics. So you can apply, oh, I forgot to mention, lots of students double major. You can totally double major and do both physics and astronomy. Let me see what else. Sorry, I'm still looking for the STEM business programs. You're in your first year of BS, so you can transfer into the University of Cincinnati and then continue whatever program, either astronomy or physics. Can you tell me the converted GPA for 90% at UC? That's an interesting question. So the question is, what would an equivalent GPA be for a student that's getting a 90%. I'd prefer to not go into the specifics of the CBSE. Well, I don't know if you're a CBSE student as well, but to go into GPA conversion, it is pretty technical. If you look online, there are a decent amount of grade conversion websites that exist and images that exist and such, and those will give you a general idea, and we'll be pretty close to that, whether it's CBSE or not. I don't have it exactly memorized. I do have, because we just see a lot of curriculums. But I would just for your general knowledge, I'd look online, and we're probably pretty close to that. Let's see. Can you share a few names of co-op companies, opportunities for the field of biomedical engineering? Oh gosh. Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson. Who else? Man, you're really testing my knowledge with that one. Biomed. There's a company called Biomed. There are a couple of orthopedics companies that we work with. I'm trying to remember the names of some of those. I don't know. It's not really in my specific area, but I tried my best. A few more questions. Any specific criteria connected to honors program selection at UC? Interested in the honors program? So for students interested in the honors program, it would be very similar to, again, it's just one application for everything. I believe honors does have an interview process. So if they look through your program and they're very impressed by it, they look through your application, they're very impressed by it, then I believe you would be invited for an interview, and to give additional information. Specific criteria. Can't really give specific criteria. I would just say demonstrated proof of interest in your particular field. So anything that you can do that shows how interested you are in biomedical engineering, or any work that you've done towards it, or anything that essentially makes you unique. I know that's a little bit cliche, but something that shows you're passionate and doing whatever you can to advance within that field, that's what would make you a very strong candidate or applicant. What's the application acceptance for aerospace engineering or computer science with aggregate 91%, and SAT of 1550? Yeah, let me put my email address on there too. That's a little bit easier question. I don't have the acceptance rates for individual programs memorized, unfortunately. I will put here. This is my email for everyone if you're looking for my specific email. I don't have the exact rate, but I will say an SAT of 1550 and high grades does make you very competitive. Unfortunately, my particular territory is Latin America, so I work with Western Hemisphere students a lot, and there are quite a few that I've been very excited to get into the aerospace engineering program. I thought they were great candidates that have not been accepted. It's just very competitive. So do the best you can. Good luck. Look online for as much effort and support as you can for your application. Make sure you take time on your essays and everything else. Question, when do we get the I-20 back after we complete the admission process? Do we have to wait until decision day, or will we get it earlier? This is a very good question. Okay, so the actual timeline. So let me go back here. Oh, I need to here we go. Okay, so you apply, early action, boom, you get your admissions decision here. Awesome. The next step after you are admitted is you have to confirm your admission. So you confirm, yes, I'm going to attend the University of Cincinnati. You complete a confirmation form. And then after that, we will start processing your I-20. So it's once you have your confirmation, after that, the next steps are things like applying for housing, providing information to us. To be able to get your I-20, you would need to provide financial information. Then we'll give you the I-20. Then you'll be able to schedule your visa interview. Then you do your visa interview. Then you buy your plane tickets. Then you show up here. That's kind of the whole timeline. But it's after decision day, after confirmation. Okay. Was there anyone else that wanted to ask a question verbally over the microphone. I'm going to take that as a no. All right. Oh, shoot. I sent that to you directly. All right. I finally attached the STEM OPT list for everyone. Here you go. That STEM OPT list is a list of our programs that are recognized as STEM programs. And some of them are within the College of Business, which is what was asked earlier. Whew. All right, that was fun. Thanks everyone for joining. Hope you got something out of this. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have more questions or anyone else. Oh, I have a few more questions I didn't answer, sorry. In the Q&A section. Interesting College of, okay, I already answered that. Maximum GPA that an international applicant must have. So that's asking for a minimum GPA. Again, we're going to convert your GPA onto our grading, onto a 4-point grading scale, depending on what your particular curriculum is. Minimum GPA, we do holistic reviews, so there aren't technically minimum GPAs, but I would say 3.0 is like a soft minimum. Like most programs won't look at you if you're below that. Next question, application process. All right, I already did that. Thank you, everyone. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Let me know if you have any questions, any more questions, and thanks for joining. Would love to see you at UC. Bye, everyone.